Hi there, and welcome again to Mindfulness-Based Cancer Survivorship. This is session number 7, and at the beginning of session 7 here, I'd like for you to be able to review with me some of the things from the previous sessions. You've got formal and informal practices that I hope that you have been looking at. The formal is, of course, our sitting meditation. And the informal is that time that you can take the breath and be in the present moment. Another informal that we like for you to look at and pay attention to on a regular basis is your eating. So when have you had a chance to actually even do a full eating meditation like we did with the raisin, or simply be aware of those first bites that you take when you eat? That is a form of a very brief, for yourself, eating meditation. You are in the moment, you're tasting the food, you're feeling the food, you're experiencing the food. You're experiencing your feelings while you're eating the food. This is part of that meditation process. And of course, we have the bells in your life that Judy talked about last time. For me personally, I've identified quite a few bells that bring me to the present moment. Sometimes, if I'm angry, it helps me to stop and be aware that that anger came from something. I need to stop in that present moment. What just happened? What am I really feeling? How can I be compassionate, loving to myself or another in this situation? Or stop signs, literal stop signs, or a traffic stop sign. I can stop at that stop sign and truly experience coming to a halt, and truly experience sitting in that car and looking around me and breathing and feeling the relaxation at that time. Another, maybe a traffic jam, where ordinarily I might go, I'm going to be late. I can take that traffic moment to take my breath, to realize that I'm here, I'm in this present moment, and I'm calm. What I notice sometimes when I do that is the trees are even more vibrant in their color. Or I notice something over on the side of the road that I never noticed before. I am more aware in my present moments with my bells. Another may be when I walk my dog and she decides to stop. Rather than jerking her along, I may take that moment that she's given me with her stopping, take my breath, and enjoy the trees, enjoy the air, enjoy the noises, the sounds around me, enjoy the peace. The phone is another one of my bells. And when I am aware, when I am using it truly as one of my mindful bells, I do stop, take those breaths before I answer it, so that I can be in a more peaceful, receptive place when I answer the phone. What we want to present to you today is the idea of the way that we face situations. And we often face situations with a stress reaction or a stress response. And there's a very different meaning and effect in our bodies when we react or when we respond. So, in a stressful situation, the body is designed to react automatically. Judy talked about how the body can react with a stress response and how it prepares for action. And the primitive response that we have in our bodies, it's a reflex. It's the kind of thing that you don't really have a lot of control over. It's an automatic reflective response, and we call it the fight, flight, freeze response. that response gets our bodies at a very primitive level ready to fight hard, run fast, or like the deer in the headlights, stop, and we often can't even function. All of the time that that's happening, there are chemical responses going on in our bodies. Those chemical responses are influenced by adrenaline. This adrenaline shift in our bodies is counterproductive to our healing processes in our bodies. So the stress response, that fight, flight, freeze, and all that adrenaline it puts in our physical system is against the healing process that we want to support in our survivorship. Threats can be perceived as external, coming from the environment, other people. Sounds even may be a threat and be kind of an assault on us. Or these threats can be internal. They can be internal from our own thoughts, as Judy talked about last time. Our thoughts can be sometimes our own worst enemies. And sometimes, too, it's the way we perceive a situation. The way we perceive affects how we react or respond to stress or to a threat. So sometimes we can become our own worst enemy with our judgments, with our strivings, or with our impatience, our lack of trust. So all of those attitudinal aspects that we've had you to look at with mindfulness can affect how we react or respond in stressful situations. Our reactions support the stress response. But researchers have noted that given the same stressors, individuals display different ways of having their bodies respond. Now, what causes that? So sometimes the bodily response is an individual situation. And how does that come about? Well, in a stressful situation, we have our automatic reaction. And then there's this potential to respond rather than react. Reactions are often long-learned coping patterns. And these patterns come from our childhoods, from societal conditioning, and often we don't even realizing that we are reacting to a situation. We don't even necessarily realize our attitudes in situations. They come from past experiences, they come from past life challenges. And now you're in a new challenge with your survivorship. In many ways, you may go back to reacting to this new challenge and facing this new challenge in the same way you did to old challenges. And it may be very counterproductive to your healing, to your survivorship. Our reactions are often unconscious, so we are automatically reacting, and we are often unaware of our reactions. Responses, on the other hand, require a certain amount of conscious awareness, and that's where mindfulness comes in. We need to look at the possibility of making some decisions about how to respond, how to modulate our automatic tendency to react. Mindfulness makes awareness possible. Mindfulness makes responding rather than reacting possible. So, when we are aware moment to moment, we are able to slow down. We are able to slow down our immediate reactions. We may initially have them as immediate reactions. There's no judgment. And we are not judging our reactions. They're automatic. But it's then what we decide to do with them. How we change and turn our reactions into responses. Responses that support our healing. We can decide to do our responding based on non-judgment, on trust, on patience, on non-striving, on letting go, on acceptance. All of those attitudes that can become our new way of facing the world and facing each moment to moment with calm and peace. So what are we going to do? Here we go. We're going to be mindful. Now suddenly we're cut off in traffic. We take a breath. We realize that we could respond rather than react with anger. And during our breathing, we may be able to calm ourselves. We can look around, and rather than reacting with anger, we can take a moment. We can decide to slow ourselves down, to look for an opportunity to maintain safe driving, to calm our breath, to enjoy the current moment, to be grateful that although we're cut off, we're still safe. We may say thank you for that safety in the present moment and realize that our bodies have calmed. We are responding rather than reacting. What if we fail an exam? Oh, I'm so terrible, awful. That's a reaction. Taking our breath, we can look at it as a learning experience. Maybe we needed to study more. We can realize that we can respond in a loving way to ourselves with non-judgment and return our bodies to a state of calm. We've been disrespected by a friend. Okay, we can react and maybe get angry back, or we can respond. First, by taking those breaths, like Judy talked about with the stop. Some of these may become our bells, where we stop, we breathe, we acknowledge the present moment, we look at this present moment without judgment, we look at ourselves lovingly and with acceptance, and perhaps we can even see acceptance for the other person who may have wronged us. But what we're doing primarily is we're looking at a way of responding in the present moment. That response that brings us back down into our healing place, our calm place, our aware place, where we can heal, where we are not allowing the stress reaction to do things to our body. Now you also may be living with a chronic condition. You're in a survivorship mode. All of these things, if you can look at them in a response mode, look at them with your attitudes of mindfulness, you can breathe and bring yourself into a mindful moment and respond rather than react. There is power in observing your emotions, in learning from them. We are not about suppressing emotions. We want you to understand them. We want you to learn from them. We want you to observe them. We have to acknowledge our thoughts. We have to acknowledge them, but not hold their impact in our bodies. We want to go away from living on autopilot. So gradually, the more mindful you are, the more aware you are, the more you live by attitudes and respond to bells and allow them to call you to your breath, you will be increasing your awareness, going away from living on autopilot, increasing your ability to choose your responses that support freedom from stressful patterns. Those stressful patterns that we've talked about are those ones that are automatic, stressful patterns of thinking and coping. You replace those with your ability to choose responses that support calm and peace and healing in your body. You're open to learning through your experiences. You're open to become aware of autonomic tendencies, but you're making healthy choices that support your body's relaxation, calm, healing response. Make healthy decisions. The more you make healthy decisions, these support the relaxation response in your body. That relaxation response, I'd like you to experience right now. So just take a split second as I'm talking and allow something that's disturbing to enter your awareness. Perhaps it's something that's gone on with someone. Perhaps it's some anger. Perhaps it's a loss. Perhaps it's your awareness of your condition. Allow that to come in briefly now. And as you're listening to me, be aware of what's going on in your body. Be aware that you perhaps became a little tighter. Perhaps your muscles are a little tighter. I don't know exactly if you're aware, but allow yourself to be in touch with how this disturbing, stressful thought may have affected your physical body. And now, take a breath. Breathe with me. You may want to breathe in to the count of 4 and breathe out to the count of 8. This is a relaxing breath. See what that has done to that disturbing negative thought. This is the relaxation response. And in this place of the relaxation response, your body's healing mechanism is supported. And in this relaxation response, you are able to live in acceptance. Acceptance of what is. Right now, that thought is in a place where you can just let it go and be in the present moment and accept it is what it is. So remember, in mindfulness, doing is a practice of not doing. So when you're doing mindfulness, you're really not doing. And as you continue the practices, sitting meditation, paying attention to your eating, listening to bells, and simply being aware of your breath from time to time as you walk through your experiences in life, the more you do, the more your benefits will be noticed. The more your body will be experiencing healing. Some of these practices may feel very difficult, and they may not seem to resonate with you. We challenge you to actually continue, perhaps even working more with those that you have difficulty with, because they may be the very ones that can help you. Your resistance may actually be a sign that this is the place where you can grow the most. So we have our reminders. You've got formal and informal practices. We want you to really, really concentrate on paying attention to writing things down and to seeing the benefits of a journal. But also now we are adding for you what is called a body scan. You have in your program the ability to do one of 2 body scans at this time. One of the body scans is 20 minutes long. The other body scan is 45 minutes long. So why don't you go now and go to your program, click on the 20-minute body scan, and enjoy.